Alright guys, so I'm going to go through some Patreon requests, and this one is one I've been meaning to get to. I just got swamped with other Patreon requests, but this was one that was always on, I guess to quote the great Willie Nelson, it was always on my mind. I'm never doing that again. Anyway, this Patreon request comes from Alistair Boneman, and this was a pretty fun one because this is an X-23 centric Patreon request. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's head on over into this request. So this request is basically Alistair Boneman asked me to do a story similar to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, but instead use X-23, Laura, as our main character. So this story begins, I guess we're going to set it in the not Genosha era, the Krakoa era. And essentially what's going on in here is that Laura is off of Krakoa. She's just kind of like, I need like a little time to myself. There was a lot of shit going down, and I just need a little time to myself. Like, even Logan contacts her, and he's like, I understand it. Sometimes like, after something, you just need to decompress, but just know, if you need me, you call me. And she's like, when have I ever needed to call you on something? Is like, in case there's a body count, or unless there's a scrap and I ain't invited. And she's like, love you too, Dad. So Laura goes off on her own, and it's actually Logan who suggests before he hangs up, is like, go just enjoy the wilds of Canada. Just enjoy like the open wilds of Canada, and trust me. And she's like, why Canada of all places? Like, why would I pick Canada of anywhere else? Like, why do you think I would enjoy there? And he's like, because you're my daughter. And if there's any of me in there in that clone body of yours, then you, above all else, are going to appreciate it. So Laura goes out into the wilds of Quebec, and she's like, she just has like a tent. She pitches a tent, and out in the wilderness, and it's just the start of fall, and she's just like, God damn it, Logan, I hate when you're right. She just has that moment of, fucking A, Logan, I hate when you're right. So Laura is just out living in the wilds, learning to hunt. Ooh, excuse me. Learning to hunt, learning to fight on her own. She's just basically learning she's just having like a learning curve moment of what it means to be Wolverine. Like, she is just, she's basically enjoying being what it is to be Wolverine. One night, she goes into there's a small town in the wilderness she's living in. So she goes there to go get a beer, maybe take in the local population, just kind of like be around others. Like, she's been out in the wilds for about 2 weeks. And is like, you know what, I'm going to try to be among other people, even if they are humans. So she goes, and what happens is she goes into the bar, some men hit on her, and she immediately is like, if you even so much as look in my direction, I will tear your throat out, and I will tear your throat out and make you choke on your own esophagus. And they're like, I understand, a simple no would have been nice. And she's like, no, it wouldn't. So while she's there, while Laura is there just kind of drinking and whatnot, she sees this young girl come in, and immediately Laura is like, I can smell blood on her, and it's not her, it's familiar blood. No, I'm not doing this. I know it's about to happen. No, I'm not getting involved. I'm on vacation. I don't do this. And then she sees the girl asking around. She's like, no, I'm not doing this. Until the girl gets hassled by some men. And eventually Laura comes in, pops her claws, and gets to work. And they're like, oh shit, it's a fucking mutie. Or, if you want to go phonetic, oh fuck no, it's a fucking mutie, don't you know? I apologize to my Canadian audience. So Laura gets out there with the girl, and the girl is like Laura says, "Look, I know you're human, but listen, I know like being saved by a mutant was probably not your first idea, but you should know better than to go into a bar like that." And the girl goes, "I needed help," and she's like, "What could you like? I needed someone big and strong to help me with my job." And she's like, "What could you have possibly needed?" And she's like, "My dad died." And Laura's like, "Just say no." Just in her head, she's like, "Just say no, Laura. You don't need this." The girl explains her whole thing is that her dad was killed was a rancher. Her dad was a rancher, and there was an argument between him and one of the ranch hands about some money that had gone that had been misplaced, or rather cows. Some cows that had been misplaced. Guy accused him of like maybe stealing a few and selling them, because that is a thing. I've looked it up. And like, yeah, cattle wrestling's still a thing. They got into an argument. Ranch hand shot him and ran off. And the daughter wants revenge, so she wanted someone to help find the guy and help her kill him. But and she's like, "Well, you probably want." Laura's like, "Well, you probably want someone human," and she's like, "No, you're perfect. I don't care that you're a mutant. You can help me. I don't care. She's like, my family never had a problem with mutants. We just thought you were other. And she's I've never seen another mutant before. She's never seen a mutant before. And she's like, "Are you Wolverine?" And Laura goes, "There it is." And she goes, "Yeah, I am." So Laura finally agrees to help find the guy. So they go into a cross-country journey across Canada in order to find the guy who killed this girl's father. The girl's name is Emily, and Emily, one of the reasons why Laura decides to help the girl, is because she sees that kind of innocence that she once had, that kind of level of innocence that she had before the Weapon X program just completely destroyed her and made her into a weapon. So she can just see that, and she's also like, "Goddamn X-Men! I can't help myself." She has that moment of I can't fucking help myself. These goddamn X-Men have got me all fucked up. I can't believe I'm doing this. So Laura and Emily trek through the Canadian wilderness, fighting their way past bikers, and they actually come across a bear. Laura actually is she doesn't use her claws on the bear. She actually sheathes them and actually just calms the bear down and realizes, yeah, it's just it's a mother protecting her cubs, just like how I would know someone who would desperately protect their cubs. Obviously referring to Logan. So Laura and Emily just trek through the Canadian wilderness looking for this guy, who is by the name of Bill, just Bill. She's like, "I'm looking for a guy named called Bill Oakes." So Laura is keeping in touch. She does use the Krakoan trees, the Krakoa trees, because they've reached out to Canada, and she's communicating with the X-Men, and especially Logan, and is telling her, "Look, I got wrapped up in a thing. I'm gonna be gone for a while." And Logan's just like, "It's all right. You do what you gotta do, kid." So her and Laura continue this long trek. They actually discover that Bill Oates had been on the run throughout Canada and was wanted in some of the northern parts of the U.S. for also cattle wrestling. And she's like, and Laura has that moment of, cattle wrestling's still a thing? What the hell? Until eventually they do find their way to finding Bill. But Bill isn't what he used to be. See, Bill ran with some other people. But they got, after getting caught by the cops, and one of the cops shot him and killed his partner, they got lost in the woods. The guy died of his wounds, and Bill was hungry. You know where this is going. Bill is now a Wendigo. So Laura and the Wendigo get into just a full-on bloody fight. And during... Because I don't think Laura ever fought a Wendigo. Yeah, I don't think she ever fought... like, I could be wrong, but I don't think she ever fought a Wendigo in her entire era. I don't think she's ever fought a Wendigo. So yeah, her and the Wendigo get into a fight, and it's actually Emily who actually kills it, because what happens is that they're on a cliff, and both of them fall, and Laura's like, you got, just get out of here, Emily, I'll be fine. But what happens is Laura just picks up her dad's gun and just shoots the Wendigo in the eye, making it fall to its death. By the end of it, Laura is like, do you have family? And she's like, I've got a mom. And she's like, well, I'm going to take you back to her, because she's probably worried sick about you. Sends her back, and Laura leaves some parting words to Emily. Is like, yeah, what you killed was a monster, but I don't want you to be a monster. And she's like, you're not a monster. And she's like, sometimes I doubt that, kid. So Laura finally returns to Krakoa, and that's the story. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my X-23 story. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And once again, I'd like to thank Alistair Bowman for this Patreon request. And, yeah, and as well as continued patronage. And like I said before, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. You guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.